Today is day 66 of 100 Random Acts of Kindness. Just an update on my blood. I needed in the 90 area of my platelets. I hit 87. So, check. My neutrophils are always kind of jerks. They hit 1.7, which is enough. Little worried about them once I start chemo. The thing that I thought was going to kind of put a wrench in things that wasn't even on the radar was hemoglobin. It's quite low. It's almost about half as much as the high end of normal. So when that wasn't even brought up and it seemed to be okay, I thought, okay, let's do this. I seem to be having some symptoms of low hemoglobin. I just Googled it and it said stuff that not really that's different than what cancer and other treatment bring on, but just kind of, I don't know, the fact that I'm experiencing, I don't know, maybe it is just the cancer. It's so hard to tell, but I got the okay to go ahead, so I'm just waiting on insurance to approve things, and let's hope that they don't decline this. So hopefully I'll find that out tomorrow and then I can just start tomorrow. So that's about it. So I found out the blood test results yesterday. I'm very tired. I'm very, very, very tired. Not that I can sleep. My sleep hasn't been terrible lately, but I have been taking some stuff, and something that I can take now that trial is over is marijuana again. So it's the oil. I don't know. The oil and I don't get along terribly well. So, but I don't want to smoke anything because my lungs aren't great. Anyway, we're going to have to try to figure something out. I am constantly talking about my legacy, and I want to encourage so many people to think about their legacy as young as possible, because for me, I kind of didn't really think about it until I was diagnosed stage 4. And so in saying that, the idea of what legacy means, and tangible versus intangible, and intended versus unintended, those kind of ideas of when something is tangible and you leave something physical that can be touched or visited or clicked on or whatever it may be, the intangible is kind of what I'm loving right now, is the way you make people feel. Or I don't know, I love making people laugh. That's been my whole life. I've loved being the funny one. And that feeling, like, that feeling when somebody makes you laugh so hard and you just think, oh, what a good night. Like, it doesn't really matter what's going on in your life if you can laugh. That feeling. And so a few months ago I posted something on Twitter that just said I kind of feel like a fraud when somebody says you're an inspiration for having terminal cancer. And I don't mean people who are inspired by something that I do and it inspires them to do something else. I'm very touched when somebody says that. It's more the people who I just meet, and they see me grocery shopping. Let's just say magically. I don't have this isn't a concrete example, but let's say I'm at grocery shopping and something happens. They see something or they recognize me or something. And they say, oh, you're such an inspiration. And it's like, for grocery shopping? It's just a very strange, or how many people say, you're so brave, you're so courageous for not staying in bed all the time. Again, when there's actually a concrete example, I very much appreciate it. But especially with strangers, if I'm in a scenario where it comes up, because I'm obviously not afraid to talk about it, and they say, oh, you have stage 4 cancer? You're such an inspiration. Well, not everybody who has stage 4 cancer is an inspiration. So sometimes I get that label and it's very unwarranted and very, I haven't earned it. People just kind of slap that on. And if you've ever had an illness or have a terminal illness, and that is a common theme that a lot of me and contacts and friends talk about, is this idea of courage and bravery. Well, it's not courageous to have stage 4 cancer. I didn't sign up for it. I didn't say, I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to get stage 4 cancer and then show them how to. No, I don't want it. I didn't ask for it. I don't want it anymore. I've never wanted it. So it doesn't make you. Anyway, so on Twitter, I kind of was just, I don't know, I got a lot of you're inspiring and brave, and I didn't feel like it was warranted. So I don't know if you remember, back in February, I really, really hurt my neck and my upper back, and I was just kind of almost paralyzed for like 2-3 weeks. It was really, really bad. I couldn't leave bed. I left the house only for treatment. Like, oof, it was very, very bad. And so on probably day 10 of recovery, I thought, oh, I just want to do something different. So I put up my phone and I got dressed, which wasn't very common those days, and grabbed my cane and blasted Beyonce, one of my favorite songs, and danced for the whole song. And I mean, I danced with a cane in pretty decent pain. I've got compression fractures in my lower spine, all this stuff with my upper back. I was not feeling good, but I was like, fuck it. I'm so tired of being in bed. This is what's happening. And so yesterday was a pretty rough day for a variety of reasons that I will maybe share at some point. But it was a very rough day, and I was having a very hard time, and emotionally it was a very hard day. And I went onto Twitter and noticed that that video, that Beyonce video, has had more than 30,000 views. And that just like goosebumps right now. And I think it's that unintended, I got up and danced to Beyonce for myself and then just posted it in hopes that it inspired somebody. I had no idea that this was going to happen. And so to see that 30,000 people have watched me dance like an idiot with a cane, that makes me feel so good. And I feel like that's part of that unintended legacy. And in saying all that, I posted something yesterday on Instagram about the 30,000 and just said, you know, unintended and everything. So a friend of mine, Chantel, who worked for an organization who just kind of got me in the game, got me when I was first diagnosed. I started blogging because of them. They asked me to speak, which kind of put me on a different path. It helped me with my advocacy. And Chantel's just this, like, she's one of those women who you just like instantly are like, do you have a best friend? Because I'd like to take that role. Like, she's awesome, and she's funny, and she's so smart. The way she writes, even in an email, the way she writes, I'm like, how do you do that? I sound like a bubbling idiot. I can't even speak. A bumbling idiot? I don't even know. Anyway, I sound like a moron most of the time. And she is like the amount of emails that I've laughed out loud from. She has that kind of, she can just write to make you feel. And so she private messaged me on Instagram, and I made sure that this was okay with her. This is my random act of kindness after this long-winded 9-minute talk. I will try to get through it. I have yet to get through it without sobbing, so I will do my best. Many, many, many videos ago in my 100 Days of Gratitude, I said I'm not much of a crier, and I have blown that theory out of the water because I cry all the time in these videos. So, no promises. It says, Katie girl, just read your post about legacy. You should know that you are one of the reasons I just left my corporate job to go back to foundation work. You are the reason I was aware enough to recognize that that job wasn't how I wanted to live my life before I looked back and regret. Sorry, not that job, that wasn't how I wanted to live my life before I look back and regret. You are the reason I've learned to stop sweating the small stuff. So legacy, yeah, you're good. And I think what I've learned through stage 4 cancer is that I don't want to be forgotten. I don't want to take my last breath and then after the mourning period and the grieving period, just be that girl who died from cancer. So the idea of leaving a legacy is exceptionally important for everybody, but I am feeling it, obviously. And just getting a message like that and kind of feeling a little bit of the impact of how I try to lead my life, how it impacts other people. That's pretty amazing. That's a random act of kindness to me and to anybody. And like I've said so many times, I know how hard it is to think, oh, what can I do for somebody? Somebody's going through a hard time. What can I do? And I think when they have a passion, if they're passionate about something, if they're an advocate about something or for something, tap into that. Because this message was, I really appreciate when people tell me about the impact that I've had on their life. And the same with Paul the other day, who emailed me from when we were kids and said that when we were kids I called because he wasn't at school one day and I wanted to see how he was feeling. Just things like that, that we all have things that resonate with us and stay with us for our whole lives. I will also tell you that I lost a friend today. And so I went to her husband's Facebook page. And he posted last night in the evening, so less than 24 hours ago, that she died. She had metastatic breast cancer. She was in her 30s. She wasn't in hospice. Something went wrong, and I don't know what. I should say she died suddenly. I don't know. I shouldn't say something went wrong, but she died suddenly, and I still don't know the details. And there are 150 comments on that post. And I just think, how many of us wait until somebody's gone before we tell them what they mean? So, if somebody is in your life who has cancer, has lost somebody, is going through a divorce, has a sick child, lost their job, anything, don't wait. Tell them what they mean to you. Because when somebody does it for me, it's like a game changer. I was saying to somebody today, I just feel like I'm living minute to minute right now. Just between the symptoms and the side effects and the test results and the chemo and the treatment, and sometimes it just feels minute to minute things can change. So when I get these messages, sometimes it just feels really good. So to Chantel, thank you so much. And I knew I'd be a blubbering mess during this one. Talk to you guys tomorrow.